How does the most iconic football club in England, a team that dominated the Premier League for 2 decades, find itself lost in a decade of turmoil? From boardroom blunders to misfiring managers and underperforming stars, Manchester United's downfall is a story of shattered dreams and missed opportunities. But is this the beginning of the end, or can the Red Devils rise again? Before Sir Alex Ferguson, Manchester United was the biggest team in English football. Now, after 10 years of decline, they are back to where they were before. The story of how Manchester United destroyed itself is one of bad leadership, bad decisions, and the loss of a winning culture. What Ferguson left behind. The glory days. When Sir Alex Ferguson was in charge, Manchester United was always successful. Ferguson was manager for 26 years and won 26 important trophies, including 13 Premier League titles and 2 Champions League trophies. Ferguson quit his job in 2013 and left behind a huge business. But when he left, it wasn't the end of an age. It was the start of a fall. After Ferguson's departure, the club's problems showed how much of its success was due to him. The start of the fall, David Moyes. Ferguson chose David Moyes to take over as manager on July 1st, 2013. Moyes did a great job at Everton, but it was hard for him to get used to leading a club like United. His time as manager was tainted by a lack of important signings, bad tactics, and a lack of trust in the team. The 2013 summer transfer window was a mess. The fact that the team wasn't strengthened showed that the people in charge didn't have a plan. The way United played on the field was not very good. A 4-1 loss in the match to Manchester City was a sign of things to come that would be hard. The club became less stable after Moyes was fired after only 8 months. I call Louis van Gaal the philosopher. In 2014, Louis van Gaal was hired. He was a seasoned boss with a great track record. Fans hoped that his knowledge and tactical know-how would help the club win again. Van Gaal started his job with high hopes, and he made big signings like Angel Di Maria and Radamel Falcao. There were, however, problems right away. Van Gaal's style of football focused on having the ball, but it didn't always have the driving flair that United fans wanted. He was fired in 2016 because he couldn't find good players and change his strategies to work in the Premier League. When Jose Mourinho was in charge, there were short-term gains and long-term pain. Fans were hopeful when Jose Mourinho came on board. Mourinho, who was known as the Special One, had a history of success at top teams. The EFL Cup and the Europa League were won in his first season. The top, on the other hand, was getting cracks. Tensions ran high during Mourinho's time in charge. Players like Paul Pogba and Luke Shaw didn't get along with him, and fans often got annoyed by the way he played. In Mourinho's 3rd season, things got worse between him and the team, and they played much worse. In December 2018, he was fired, which caused chaos at the club. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a mix of nostalgia and false hope. In December 2018, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a well-liked former player, was named temporary manager. Fans were thrilled, and Solskjaer was given the job for good. But Solskjaer's lack of experience as a boss was quickly seen. Even though he made games more exciting at times, United lacked stability. During his time in office, hiring people was hit or miss. Solskjaer's United often relied on individual talent instead of teamwork, and the defense still had problems. After a string of bad results, he was fired in November 2021. Behind the scenes, Ed Woodward and the Glazer family. A lot of Manchester United's fall can be linked to who owns the team. The Glazer family, who bought the club in 2005 through a forced buyout, cared more about making money than winning football games. They bought United and made it one of the richest teams in the world, but they didn't really put that money back into the team. During this time, Ed Woodward, who was executive vice chairman, was very important in hiring people and making decisions. Lack of a clear strategy from the top led to a cycle of not doing enough. New challenges, the Era After Soulcare. Soon after Solskjaer left, Ralf Rangnick was hired as a temporary manager. Rangnick was expected to keep the team stable because he is known for pressing and putting a lot of focus on developing young players. However, he didn't do a great job, and United ended 6th in the 2021-22 season. Erik ten Hag, who used to handle Ajax, was hired in 2022. Ten Hag was known for coming up with new strategies and helping young players grow, but he took over a team that had deep-seated problems. Ten Hag has to deal with the huge pressure of managing one of the biggest clubs in the world, rebuilding the team's personality, and fixing problems with recruitment. The fall in money and culture. Manchester United still has a lot of money, but they often waste their money when they spend it. The club broke several British transfer records, but these new players haven't always helped them do well on the field. At the same time, foes Manchester City and Liverpool have put together strong teams by hiring smartly and having clear goals. United has lost the cultural edge that made them stand out when Ferguson was in charge. The mindset of winning has been replaced by a mindset of being average. There aren't enough leaders on the field, and players often look like they're not interested. The club's past and its present state are very different from each other. Does Manchester United have a chance to be saved? Now the question is whether Manchester United can get back to being great again. The club needs to make some internal changes. The first thing that needs to be done is to hire a football-savvy director of football. Instead of going after big names, recruitment needs to be more strategic, with a focus on finding players who fit the manager's scheme. Also, the Glazer family's ownership is still a point of contention. Fans have protested against the Glazers many times, calling for new owners who will put sports success first. The best teams in England and Europe will be hard for United to beat if nothing changes at the top. Manchester United's fall from grace is a lesson in bad management and being too comfortable. The club has been failing over and over again, from the rough start after Ferguson retired to the current problems under the Glazers. To rebuild Manchester United, they will need to be patient, spend money, and get back to the values that made them great in the first place. That being said, until then, memories of Ferguson's time will always be a sad reminder of how the club used to be. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more exclusive insights into football's biggest stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on the beautiful game.